Hello, welcome everyone to join our Odoo webinar today. So today we are going to talk about transforming your class utilizing Odoo Edu-Database for your business course. Today's webinar is the second webinar of our Odoo Education APAC series. 2 weeks ago, we invited our Odoo education partner, Mr. Archie, to talk about how he incorporates Odoo in his business class. During it, we discussed how he used Odoo free Edu-Database in his classes, allowing his students to learn and use Odoo in the class. So in today's webinar, transforming your class utilizing Odoo Edu-Database for your business course, we're going to go more in depth on it to show you how you create and use the education database in your courses. Once again, my name is Ivan. I am the Odoo Education Program Officer in the APAC region. So if you're a teacher or student in the APAC region, like Hong Kong, Indonesia, Philippines, Australia, feel free to reach out to me if you want to learn more about the program. My email is on the screen right now. Please feel free to reach out to me. So before I talk more about the education program, the Edu-Database, I want to talk about what is Odoo Education Program first. The reason we have this program is because we see there's a gap between learning and the real business world. Oftentimes, teachers and students are really hoping to practice what they have been learning in their classes, and they also would like to know how a real business world looks like, how the real business company, how the operation looks like in a day-to-day life. That's why we have our Odoo Education Program. We're hoping to bring learning and the real business world closer together and also prepare your student for the real working life by giving out practical and hands-on learning experience so they will see how an actual business work look like and how they use Odoo in their day-to-day practice. Most importantly, all the resources and support we gave out to you and your students and your school are all free. Yes, you hear it correctly. They are all free. By doing that, we are hoping that the students of yours can gain the new skills and knowledge under our program, and also we're hoping to build a foundation of their future career. As I mentioned, our resources that we offer to you and your students are all free, which includes Odoo Edu-Database, which will be our main focus today. I will talk more about it later on. Other than that, we also offer you Odoo on-site or online workshop to go to your school, to come to school directly, to show your student what is Odoo and how Odoo works in your business classes. Other than that, we also offer self-learning materials, allow your students to keep learning Odoo in their own time, which include video resources and business exercise so they can practice it after classes. But once again, today's focus will be on Odoo Edu-Database and how do you create it. So let me tell you more about how it works. So the education database that we offer to you and your students are only for teaching and learning only. So let's say if you would like to teach Odoo functionality or your student would to learn how Odoo works, that will be the database that you should use. The version that you and your student will be using will be the Odoo Online Enterprise version, which means this is the same version that our real-life clients are using. So students, when they use Odoo, they can actually practicing how a real business company will look like. The database will be alive from 3 months to 24 months, depending how you regularly log into the database. So you might ask me, my student will have different classes or I will have different business exercise for my students. Can they have multiple education database in their account? Yes, you can. So for you and your student, you can open a limited number of education database in your Odoo account for different projects, for different classes, or different user exercise. So the benefit of using an education database or the benefit of using Odoo is allow your students to create a company, like a demo company that they can experience how a business look like and also how Odoo work in the business senses. For example, they can practice e-commerce, they can practice inventory management, project management, and accounting, and more. So all the Odoo apps that we provide for our customers, you and your student can use it in the education database as well. So one of the very frequent asked questions from teachers and students is, when they open the education database, it'll be just a database, right? It'll be just the Odoo module. How do they actually practice Odoo? How do they learn Odoo by using the database? So oftentimes we recommend them to combine the database with our scale-up game, our very special offering for you and your students, which the games that students can use to practice Odoo functionality. It actually models a furniture startup and covers 7 business different cases that a business could potentially facing, going from trading buy and sell to setting up an e-commerce store, a point of sale store, to using barcode and human resources management. So by using the games, students can see what business workflow a company would face it day to day and how they use Odoo to solve those business problems. So using this game, it will allow students to have a fundamental knowledge of business software and Odoo functionality. The game itself, it can be accessed online, so you can just search Odoo scale-up game. You can easily access the digital version online. If you want a physical copy, please feel free to email to me, and then I will reach out to you to send you a physical copy of the version to you as well. Another frequent asked question is, as a teacher, how do you monitor your classes? How do you know what your students are using the database itself? There's 2 ways that you can use it. One of the ways that actually 2 weeks ago Mr. Archie mentioned it is using the share course function. So I will show you later on in the demonstration. But basically this is a function only for the education database. So first, you will need to create your own database, sort of like creating your own company, setting up product or things that you would like your student to experience, like employee, business workflow, product, vendors details, etc. And then you can click the share course function, the buttons. Then you will generate a link, and then you just have to share the link to your students. When students click on the link, it will create a duplicate version of the database. Yes, a duplicate version of the database in their own account. So you can experience what you set up without edit your original database. But when they click the link and create the duplicate version, you can also have those duplicate version database in your own Odoo account, so you can see what they're doing. Don't worry, I will show you later on in the demonstration on how it works and how it looks like. Another way of you monitoring your students is for your student to create their own database. So at first, they go to their own Odoo account and create their own database, and then add you as a user of their database, so you can go into their database and see how they're doing. So this is another way of monitor your student database. I will also show you how it works later as well, so don't worry. Okay, so now, which is our demonstration now. So I will show you how do you create the education database, how do you add more modules, and how to use the share course function. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so yeah, we have the Odoo education program page here. How do you access it? Just search Odoo education program, then you will come to this website. You go down, you see a lot of details here. You go down and see the get 24 months of unlimited access to Odoo online. You click in again. You have more information here. You scroll down and you will see a build a course. Create a sample company for your course use case. So you just need to set up a new database. Click in. Here we are. This is quite like our normal trial page, right? So now we just choose the module you like. Don't worry, you can choose anyone you want. So you click, let's say, CRM and sales. Here's the major difference between the normal trial page and the education database page. You will say education database will be alive up to 24 months. Once again, this database is only for learning and teaching only. So it's only for your class and for your students. Okay, so now we click continue. And now you just have to input your names, your email address, company name, country, and language. So here, the company name, you can type anything you want. Let's say test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. But another difference is, like you see the edu dash. So this is how Odoo knows that you are using an education database, that you are a teacher and student. So our Odoo education program team can reach out to you to share more information. So always make sure you have this edu dash here, so Odoo will know that you are a teacher and students. Next step, click start now. Oh, okay, so don't worry. So if you once you create the database, sometimes you have this problem. When you create the database, you can click to My Databases. You will see the database you created here. How do you connect the database? You can just click Connect. And you will see the functional page of it. So you see that all the module you created earlier, let's say sales and CRM. Let's say if you want more module, you can easily click apps, and you can create more, add more module in it. For example, I want, let's say, manufacturing. You just click install. Give you a second. So as always, when you create the database, you can choose different module, right? If you miss any, don't worry. You can always just go into the apps and click install to add more modules. So you see the manufacturing add to your Edu-Database. Now, another things I mentioned earlier is add user, right? Let's say if your student having a group project, they would like to have more classmates using a database as a group project, or you ask your students to add you as a user so you can see what they have been doing. You can just click setting, and you just invite new user, and you input the email itself. Okay, so now we set up the database. Another things I mentioned earlier is the share cost function, right? So we're going back to the My Databases. So you can see all the database we created previously. You see the share cost function here. You click in, it will generate a link here. It will say, send this link to students to let them create a copy version. So when you send this link to your students, it will look like this. It will ask them to create an Edu-Database, a copy as students. So when they click it, it will create a duplicate version of a database in their own account. Once it created, their database will show up here in your own account. So you can click connect and see what they've been doing. So this is how you can create an education database and how you use it to share it to your students. When you want to create more database, do not click the create button. Go back to the Odoo education page like I showed you earlier and follow the step and create a new database. Don't worry if you show up a trial fail. Sometimes it happens. You just have to wait a few seconds and do it again. Here we are. This is today's webinar. Once again, if you have any question and you're a teacher and student in the APAC region, feel free to reach out to me, Ivan, by going to this email, and then I will address any problem you have and support your business management classes. Once again, thank you very much for joining today. If you're interested in knowing more, feel free to check our webinar 2 weeks ago with Mr. Archie that we talk about how to use Odoo in his classes, or you can reach out to me through email that we can talk more about how Odoo can use in your classes. Thank you very much for today. Have a nice day and see you in the next education event.